Daphne, Roxanne, Sandra, Glennis, Christopher, Sarah, excuse me, Eva. And again, the thing catch me by surprise. Yes, I turn around and see, look, people on the live already. My hand probably touched the live button, go live by mistake. Hi, Cha. Yeah, greetings from Ohio. Hey, our people is in Ohio too. People are studying. I certainly pledge to dedicate my life to the service of my God and my country. I'll honor my parents, my teachers, my leaders, my elders, and those in authority. I'll be clean and honest in all my thoughts, my words, and my deeds. And I'll strive in everything I do to work together with my fellow men of every creed and race for the greater happiness of all and the honor and glory of my country. I want to wish Hi Cheryl belated birthday greetings. I think it's to Miss Merle Durant. I hope it's the right person. I only saw her message after the fact. So Miss Merle Durant, I want to wish you a belated happy birthday. I love you, love you, love you. You're part of the We Talk D Ting family. I wish you all the most high blessings, long life, wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and everything you want for yourself. I wish that for you. So sorry, my darling, that I missed it. I'm sure it is Merle Durant. Ugh. Miss Merle, if you come on, just let me know is the right person, please. Hi, Jonathan. So let me start one time. You know, it always has something good. There's always something good. Hi, Bernadette. Hi, Judy. There's always something good in our country to celebrate, right? And I just want, I know probably you all would have seen it already, but it's important that we play these things again. Because repetition does make things stick, to show you how the young people, not only being fooled about what's happening in this country, they understand very well. So listen to this young person speaking.
I'm so happy. Oh my God, I'm so happy right now. You know, we need to give credit where credit is due, right? So I now come out from here. This is Government Campus Plaza, Port of Spain, right? I was to do two things. Marriage certificate, BIR number, guys. I was in and out today in 20 minutes with my stuff. If you know, you know. Gone are the days you used to wait 2 and 3 weeks for a document. Oh God, I'm so proud, I'm so proud, I'm so proud. And when is I win? Even the staff, let me talk about the staff was nice and friendly. They acting like they're mad to be here. They acting like they hate this work. The guy, then you through the process, they're talking to you nice, even the security and them, the freaking, the well knowledgeable. This is such a problem. Oh God, Olina, how does to pick up this place, boy? I wasn't expecting to get through so fast. I don't think it's a long drawn out thing because all you know that how it used to be, you see? Some progress is better than no progress. Big up my country. Yeah, the boss touched on it.
So that was a young person there enjoying the services of the government plaza, the campus, in fact, the one that Mr. Manning would have built in our effort to cut down on the rent that you're paying to the quote-unquote the 1% people always current about. Yet when Kamala Prasad and they came into office, they left it down there. Nothing happening and continue to rent from the same 1% that has always been talking about that the PNM does give this and give that, but they themselves would have given by not utilizing the government plaza. And when she held at the diplomatic center, Kamala Prasad a big ceremony just for the quote-unquote 1%, she like to call them, the Syrian Lebanese community, and tell the whole country we should emulate them and be like them. So that woman has spoke from two sides of her mouth. So let me continue. Good news. I'm seeing the British High Commission has increased. What this is about? What did they increase? Hi, Robert. Hi, Andrew. This was in the Guardian yesterday. It said British High Commission to increase shivering scholarships. So it says here, the British High Commission and the Proman Foundation have signed a Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, to increase the number of Chevron scholarships awards afforded to Trinidad and Tobago nationals. It specifically targets students intended to study at accredited universities in the United Kingdom in process engineering, chemical engineering, energy, and sustainable disciplines. Sustainability disciplines. Chevron is a UK government international award program that has been aimed at developing global leadership since 1983. One additional Chevron scholarship will be offered each year for the next 2 years, while the scholarship will be available to students pursuing postgraduate studies in process engineering, chemical engineering, energy, and sustainability. British High Commissioner to Trinidad and Tobago, John Dean, expressed enthusiasm about the partnership, saying, "This collaboration with the Proman Foundation will provide talented students from diverse backgrounds to pursue a master's degree in the UK. The additional scholarship will not only contribute to the growth of expertise in critical sectors such as energy and sustainability, but also underscores the continued strong ties between the UK and Trinidad and Tobago." Let me continue. I'm also seeing here that Shell and BP say they have big plans. If you all listen carefully, you'll hear the scholarships being offered: energy sector, engineering, chemistry, sustainability, because the world is using, in fact, Trinidad and Tobago is a very energy-driven economy. We get most of our income from the energy sector. So this was also yesterday, this was in the news day. It says Shell, BP have big plans for TNT. Two major oil and gas companies, Shell TT and BP TT, have expressed big plans for TT over the past few weeks. BP TT, in correspondence with Newsday shortly after BP Global released its plans to increase investments in production, said its business strategy is aligned with BP Global strategy reset. Over the past few months, we have made significant strides in delivering our strategy, which includes maximizing production from the Columbus Basin of the East Coast, while at the same time continuing to invest in developing gas resources that enable growth, said BPTT officials to Newsday in March. Officials said BPTT is actively pursuing the development of new acreage such as fields in TT deepwater provinces with joint partners. They added that they are continuously invested in bringing more gas to markets through TT. In short term, we will continue to work towards delivering our strategy by bringing our CPEP project online in 2025, as well as mentor with our joint venture partner, EOG. BPTT is already operating in TT Deepwater's acreage through partnership with Woodside in the Calypso development and in joint venture projects with Shell in deepwater blocks 25A, 25B, and 27, awarded after the 2023 deepwater bid rounds. We welcome the Ministry of Energy and Energy Industries' continued drive to offer more deepwater acreage for bid, including the recent launch 2025 deepwater bid round opportunities, officials said. The Ministry of Energy in February officially launched the latest deepwater bid rounds during the Energy Chamber two-day conference at the Hyatt. The ministry opened 26 blocks for bid in deepwater regions of the North Coast and Eastern Coast. Shell expressed plans to begin producing natural gas at Venezuela's Dragon gas field ahead of schedule, according to Reuters report on March 20th. The report said partners in the project plans to begin survey work in the next month, but U.S. sanction on the Venezuelan oil and gas industry controlled by state company. But U.S. sanction on the Venezuelan oil and gas industry controlled by state company PDVSA. TNT secured a license exploration and production in the Dragon gas field in 2023, but the Trump administration, through a post on Truth Social, announced a secondary tariff on Venezuela, saying it was in response to the country sending tens of thousands of criminals to the U.S. Prime Minister and Minister of Energy and Energy Industries, Prime Minister Stuart Young, was expected to meet with the Secretary of State on Wednesday in Jamaica. So this was written before the meeting in Jamaica with Secretary of State for the U.S., Marco Rubio, right? But the PTT have big plans for us, and I want you all to listen to where the money will be coming from. So intern program launch. This was in the news day yesterday also. An internship program launch for East Port of Spain residents. Member Colonel Pascal Bissessa says that the PNM has done nothing for the people who have voted for them in the East West Corridor. Only remember the things she's saying. So when I bring the facts and the information and the evidence, only you'll be able to say, okay, she's lying, right? Excuse me. East Port of Spain Development Company, EPOS, launched a Upskill Me internship program at NU Wave Automotive Limited at El Coro on March 26 as part of its I Am East Port of Spain campaign. EPOS has partnered with National Energy Skills Center, NESC, to train people between the ages of 18 to 35 in a variety of programs ranging from audio production to automotive repairs and maintenance. After the training, EPOS places the graduates in internships with private companies with which it has signed a memorandum of understanding. New Wave is the first company to sign an MOU with EPOS, that is East Port of Spain Development, right? Under the terms of the MOU, the program will provide paid training and real-world work experience to 5 graduates from the Automotive Service Program who were selected based on their outstanding performance. Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Adrian Duyons, hope EPOS partners with New Wave is the first of many collaborations with the private sector. He noted the collaborations would help transform the communities in East Port of Spain and provide a higher standard of living and better quality of life for the people in those communities. He said New Wave, that is spelled NU, capital NU, and then capital WVE, has set an example for the private sector. This demonstrates a business that is invested in the community. They are not just building talent, but legacies, loyal customers, and profits. So take that example. I challenge more companies to step forward, open your doors, and build talents. So let me say, right. Let me read over that thing, yeah? This demonstrates a business that is invested in the community. They are not just building talent, but legacies, loyal customers, and profits. So take that example. I challenge more companies to step forward, open your doors, and build talent and capacity for our population. Partner with us in the mission of transformation, because when EPOS rises, all of TNT rises. Lyons urged the private sector to ignore politics and get on board with the initiative and set the standard for corporate social responsibility. Let this partnership serve as an example. Instead of asking why New Wave and what is their connection, ask yourself how you can get involved. The interns train for several months and covers modules including safety, communications, and tools, braking system, suspension, steer system, electrical fundamentals, periodic maintenance, and scan tools. Lyons warned the interns that they will have to be dedicated if they are to reap the benefits of the opportunities. And this is your moment. The road ahead will demand work, hard work, discipline, and resilience. He added, everyone is confident though in their ability to succeed and become a beacon for their community. We know you will seize this opportunity to shine, take full advantage of this experience, learn from your mentors, refine your craft, and when your time is done here, carry your skills forward with pride. Search out advanced courses, excel, and become the best in the industry. In all that you do, know that you are not just building a career, you are shaping the future for your community. Eva Rampersad, Social Investment Officer of EPOS, told Newsday the program not only aims to empower people, but through mentorship, expose them to the soft skills required for a successful career. She explained, for example, Some first-time workers find difficulty navigating the boundaries of friendship when their friends is also their superior. It is about teaching them things like that, how to manage and navigate friendships in the workplace, and knowing the difference between friendships and workships. Roquasha Solomon, the lone female intern assigned to New Wave, thanked all the stakeholders for the opportunities as she encouraged other people, and women in particular, to sign up for the program. We can say without a doubt that this is a program we would highly recommend to anyone, particularly young women who aren't afraid to get their hands dirty and pursue in a hands-on trade like this one. The skills we gain are valuable and empowering, and the experience has made me even more confident in my abilities and my future career. That's another thing for the East-West Corridor. So as I was saying, Kamla Prasad says that the PNM never did anything for youth, nothing for the people who vote for them, right? Listen to this. You'll remember this, the Lavanti LTC, the Lavanti Technology Center. And this was established in 1997 as a community-based initiative aimed at providing technology education and skills training to residents of Laventille, a historically marginalized area of Port of Spain. The focus was on community development. The Laventille Technology Center mission is to empower the community through technology, offering programs that enhance employability and promote social and economic development. Technology and training. The center offers various technology courses, including computer literacy, digital skills, and vocational training, catered to a diverse group and skills levels. Community involvement. The Laventille Technology Center actively engages with the local community, partnering with organizations and businesses to address the needs of Laventille residents. Impact and significance. The Laventille Technology Center has played a crucial role in bringing the digital divide in Laventille, providing residents with the skills and knowledge necessary to participate in the modern economy. An ongoing operation, the LTC, that's the Laventille Technology Center, continues to operate as a virtual resource for community development and technology education in Port of Spain. 1987, who was the government in office? That built the Laventille Technology Center, and it was for who people? The peoples of Laventille. Is the government to blame that it became a situation where there was borderlines and who couldn't leave from here and go across there and all that? Was the government to blame for that? When the people from across the Carney Bridge started to come and make use of everything in the Laventille Technology Center, from across the Carney Bridge, when right there in Laventille and environs, they couldn't come after a while because of borderline and all that. Who was to blame for that? But Kamla Prasad Bissessa said they did nothing for young people. They built that center. Let me continue. Even before that, so they want the government to build it, carry them to it, for them to sit down, put the pen in their hand, put the book on the table, talk in their ears, massage them, beg them, cajole them, and all that. Huh? Even before that, this was when Mrs. Marilyn Gordon was the Minister of Sports, Culture, and Youth Affairs. See so much years that was. Addressing and congratulating the graduating class of the Sealux Trade Center on Tuesday. Where is the Sealux Trade Center today? You blame the government for that too. All right, Sealux had a trade center. Look the picture in black and white. So it had the Sealux Trade Center, and then after that had the Laventille Technology Center. All that for the people in the environs and around, not people from Toko, Sandy Grande, Conupia, Caronia, and all that, for Laventille environs. Okay. The minister congratulated the students on the achievement. The minister reminded them that the aim of the 8 trade centers throughout Trinidad and Tobago is to help youth develop self-reliance. How much trade centers we have around the country in them times? 8. To help who? The youths. Mrs. Gordon added that it was for this reason that fire prevention and small business management were taught along with the vocational subjects of masonry, carpentry, joinery, and cabinet making. Speaking of the dedication of the staff in the Ministry of Sport, Culture, and Youth Affairs, Mrs. Gordon noted that no amount of money can replace satisfaction. That satisfaction, she observed, can only be enjoyed where there was room for growth. With this in mind, the ministry introduced a training program for instructors employed at the trade centers. This program included further training in the various skills and a course in guidance counseling. Also attending a graduation exercise were Mr. CAP St. Hill, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Sport, Culture, and Youth Affairs, and Mr. David Farrell, Youth Development Officer. Yeah? So let's see 2 things that the PNM would have built to make sure they empower the youths of the East-West corridor, right? We had the Silas Trade Centers, they had how much others? 8 others throughout the country, and then you had the Lavantel Technology Center, again. But they say nothing for the young people. PNM never do nothing for young people. All you know is white up. Right? This was written in March 2018 by the caption is "Youth never had it this good," Manning tells Whitehead graduates. In spite of the rising rate of unemployment due to global economic crisis, remember back in 2009 around there, we were going through, America was going through a recession and the world, and Trinidad and Tobago was cushioned from that. We didn't even know under the leadership of Mr. Manning. Okay. In spite of the rising rate of unemployment due to global economic crisis, Patrick Manning, Prime Minister, God rest his soul, yesterday told over 4,000 graduates of the Youth Training and Employment Partnership Program, Whitehead, that this country has seen full employment. The PM delivered a featured address at the graduation ceremony at the Center of Excellence in Macoya, went on to paint a bright picture of the future for the graduates as he encouraged them to take advantage of what he said were the opportunities being created by his administration. Who administration? The People's National Movement Administration. Manning rolled out what he saw as his government's achievement, among them a booming economy, full employment, reduced poverty, housing, quality healthcare, and increased access to tertiary education. You all remember gate? Pandey had it dollar for dollar. Mr. Manning opened the whole damn gate. You didn't have to have no money at all. Who it was for? The youths. We have ensured the strongest economy in our country ever, which has tripled in size over the last 8 years, the PM said. We have already attained full employment for the first time in history of our nation and reduced poverty level by half in our country. Towards the end of his address, Manning said, as I have said before, young people in this country have never had it so good. He commended the tutors and the board of directors of Whitehead for remaining faithful to the mission, which has since 2002 turned over 40,000 successful graduates in 14 areas of skill learning. The Whitehead and other similar programs, he said, have helped to strengthen the workforce over 150,000 graduates who will be contributors in the pursuit of developed country status. In congratulating yesterday's batch, Manning said, "You have demonstrated a capacity for self-improvement and for meeting challenges. You have been disciplined and focused on acquiring skills that will position you to take advantage of the great opportunities for progress now available in Trinidad and Tobago. You didn't take the easy way out." He later called on other young people, elders, and friends around the country to persuade the unwilling to take advantage of the opportunities being provided by his government. Whose government? PNM government. He then suggested to the management of Whitehead that an eye be kept on the graduates in case they should need further assistance. In her address, Whitehead Chairman Jennifer Johnson disclosed that 70% of all graduates have so far found employment or have become employees themselves. Johnson said Tracer studies has shown white-tech graduates to be the preferred choice of employees or employers. Addressing Pierre Malin, she added that while YTEP is proud, we are not content and we will not be content because I know as an organization, YTEP can greatly impact the 2020 vision before the year 2020. Kamala said the People's National Movement never did anything for young people. So you know what thing I call there already? Lavantel Technology Center. Sealot used to have a Sealot Trade Center and it had 8 around the Caribbean. YTEP. I'll come into something else again. Oh, remember CPEP? The CPEP Company Limited is an agency of the Ministry of Rural Development and Local Government. This company develops, implements, and manages programs that protect, enhance, and beautify the environment in service areas known as environmental work areas. The Community-Based Environmental Protection and Enhancement Program, CPEP, our design company name, was officially launched on the 29th of July 2002 by our former Prime Minister, Mr. Patrick Manning, and it suitably represents our mandate. The foremost goal of CPEP is to educate communities about the need to improve and preserve our natural environment. CPEP goals are achieved through the enlistment of contracting in companies that are independently responsible for the recruitment and management of workers. CPEP cares for its labor force because we understand the significance of their contribution to our work. We have designed programs uniquely tailored to develop our contractors and their employees through continuous training and certification. The CPEP Company Limited further encourages integrity and social dialogue amongst the contractor workers through its decent work agenda consultations. These consultations focus on freedom of speech, equity, security, and human dignity. Our St. Martin location is the home of our head office, and our Tobago arm is managed under the Tobago House of Assembly. The CPEP Company Limited strives to be the premier environmental protection company and will continue along on the path of growth and positive development as it remains committed to its vision, mission, and social responsibility. Who developed CPEP? Wasn't that for people to go on the program? You work from 6 to about 12 and then you go to some classes. So when you come out, you could learn to be whack-a-man, you could get into business, you could own your little company. Isn't that what it was done for? Who it was done for? Not the poor man on the ground, not the people who just said just vote for PNM. But Kamala say PNM never did nothing for the people. You know what thing I call already? Let me continue. This is a recent one here now. You all remember the homestead program? Yeah? Where the youth send them after 2 years, 1 year. 1 year at 1 year doing theoretical work at UTT, then 1 year practical on the land. When they completed the 2 years, you were given 2 acres of land, a start house, and $20,000 check to start your own farming and business. Come on the Ministry of Youth Development National Services. And if she say they never do nothing for the youths and for the people who does vote them, whatever, the Ministry of Youth Development National Services, the first time the youth have a youth ministry. It always used to be a department, a whole ministry dedicated to young people alone. Okay. So this was March 20th, 2025, that's today. This is from TTT News. Shade House project launched at Russell Atterbury Secondary School to address societal problems faced by men. The SCJJ, I don't know if it's Jahe, Foundation provides entrepreneurship opportunities, including the Shade House project. People that have no shame here with not being able to pronounce some words sometimes that is how it is. No shame, no shade. Yeah? Consisting of aquaponics and hydroponics system, the Shade House project launched at Russell Atterbury Secondary School on Wednesday will give students hands-on experience in agricultural practice. Chairman of the Esme Marge Foundation, Dr. David Toby, said, to get the skills of agriculture and see how powerful agriculture could be, what we need to learn. Traditionally, we didn't get too much involved in agriculture. Our parents might have flower gardens or something, but we don't really plant food and get involved in it. Everybody is using this word today, entrepreneurship. We have become agricultural entrepreneurs. Using plant growth as an example, Minister Adrian Evans encouraged students in the project to apply the same approach to achieve their dream. So when you plant your seed, you protect your seed, and when your seedling comes out, what do? You pull out all the weeds around it. So in your dreams and in your life, in your goals, plant the seed that you want in your life. And when the weeds and things come around it, to distract you have to try to stifle you and stifle that dream that you're growing. What you need to do, you have to weed out all the negativity. Highlighting the importance of agriculture given seasonal changes in market prices, Minister Penelope Beckers-Robinson advised on the adaptation of agricultural practices. A lot of persons who own land will tell you that they can't get anybody to work their land. And a lot of parents will tell you that their children are not interested in agriculture. But in the short time that I'm here, I want to ask you to reflect on the seedlings that later becomes a crop for you and later for you to harvest. Yeah? So this is sponsored by the Green Fund. The project is one of many agricultural efforts in schools across the country, and it continues to prepare students for future in agriculture. Right? Student Thomas Ellis pledge, we promise to make the most of this opportunity to learn, to grow, and to carry forward the lessons of sustainability and change in farming. Using the aquaponics system containing tilapia and the hydroponic system producing a variety of vegetables, the goal is to foster entrepreneurship and life skills for students. The city, what she said, Kamala said, look at the young people, happy like papi to be there. Because they understand when you plant a seed, you have to protect that seed when it starts to grow, you have to protect it, and when the weeds come around, you have to pull it out, and you nurture this thing, and then it bear fruit, and then you harvest it, you feel the satisfaction of having done something. But she said, and who is doing this? The People's National Movement. And I told you what the things in the past. But you know what Kamala Prasad and they would have done? All those programs I spoke about, you see the youth camps especially, that was geared at a lot of people of African descent. Children used to go there because they had them in Tobago, Chagaramas, El Dorado Girls Youth Camp, the largest youth camp in the Caribbean, Presto in Freeport, and Chatham, down in Chatham. All those youth camps were there to capture the young persons who, after common entrance, didn't pass common entrance, they went on to post-primary, and from there, they went into the youth camp because there would be about 15 at that time after post-primary. And the youth camps was, I think, from ages 15 straight to 18 because you spent 2 years living. It was a residential, where you learn different type of skill, technical skill. You could have learned if you wanted to do typing, office work, office procedure, hairdressing, masonry, tailoring, everything you could think about. Kamala Prasad Biswas and the UNC closed down all those camps. So who is the one though like the people of the East-West corridor? Who it is so like African people to progress? Because I will tell you, when Mr. Pandey had closed down the youth camp in the first rounds when he was there, he opened a camp, a technical school across the Carney Bridge. Mr. Barry Garcia could attest to that. And when Mr. Manning came back into office, somebody told him there's a technical school across the Carney Bridge. It's only Indian children and Indian tutors. The only people of African descent was 4 cleaners. He went for himself and he saw it, and here he was moved to tears. And that would have encouraged him to open UTT. And what Kamala and them end up doing when they come in, they fire all them men and them Brian Lara, our own batsman, our star batsman, Greenwich just won that one. Everybody that had the place in a mess. So who don't care about the African youth in the East-West corridor? It's certainly not the PNM. Let me continue. So remember Tim Gopi Singh was telling us Chaguaramas youth camp as well. And a lot of people from the youth camp today, the senior officers in the police service, prison service, Coast Guard, Army, they are teachers themselves, they are lecturers themselves, they are nurses, they're working in government and public officers now, they have their own businesses, they are comedians, they are calypsonians, dancers, pan players, all coming from the youth camps that was there to catch them when they didn't pass common entrance. We now know it as SCA. And who were mostly children we used to see coming to those programs, because I work at El Dorado Girls Youth Camp, the largest youth camp in this country. And I'm going to read a report from it for Kamla and all of them in UNC who like to bad mouth and bad talk African people children and say the PNM and do nothing for them. So as I said, they close down all them camp and them, right? Who don't like the people in the East West Corridor ask all their questions. So as I was saying, Tim Gopi sent off the boast to talk about he would have finished 100 schools. He stood up in Parliament and spoke about the 100 schools. And when Minister Anthony Garcia was the Minister of Education, he would have corrected that and listened to, I can't play the whole thing, about 5 minutes, I'm going to play part of it. How is debunking the lies of Tim Gopi, who was the Minister of Education under the PP UNC government, 2010 to whenever.
Thank you very much, Mr. Deputy Speaker. Mr. Deputy Speaker, it was not my intention to join the debate at this time. But after hearing the member for Caroni East and the misinformation that he has spewed in this chamber, I have a responsibility to this chamber and to the people of Trinidad and Tobago to correct some of the bad news that will be spreading. Mr. Deputy Speaker, I have in my hand here a document that I got from the Planning Division of the Ministry of Education. In other words, Mr. Deputy Speaker, this document is authentic. The member for Caroni East is claiming that under his administration, they built, or let me use this word, they started and completed 106 schools. Mr. Deputy Speaker, that is furthest from the truth. Very far from the truth. He is claiming that they started and completed 69 ECC centers. He is claiming that they started and completed 31 primary schools. And he is claiming that they have started and completed 6 secondary schools. Mr. Deputy Speaker, just let me give you the facts. Yes, let me give you the facts. Listen to him carefully. Something really jumped out at me. He is claiming that the Lafayette RC School was 22% complete under his structure. The Lafayette RC School falls under my constituency. Not a blade of grass has been moved where that is concerned. Absolutely nothing has been done. Yet he is claiming 22% completion. Absolutely nothing.
Shame, not a blade of grass.
Mr. Deputy Speaker. It has been heard. Again, proceed, Member Farimo. Thank you very much. Mr. Deputy Speaker, the member for Caroni East is claiming that they started and completed a number of primary schools. Those of us who travel along the bus route, and we know as we approach Page Junction, that school that has been there for a number of years, the Telefuna Government Primary School, this minister is claiming that they started and they built that school. How far from the truth could we get? But let me, Mr. Deputy Speaker, talk about what is the truth where this is concerned. And I'm starting with the ECC centers. The Arangwes ECC Center was a project started by the PLM administration, not by his administration. The Broad Air ECC Center was started by the PLM administration. The Castle Field ECC Center was another one that was started by the PLM administration. The La Broya ECC Center, a project started by the PLM administration. The Clark Rochad Center, again, was started by PLM administration. The Kush ECC Center, a project started by the PLM administration. The Edinburgh South ECC Center, a project started by the PLM administration. The Egypt Trace ECC Center, again started by the PLM administration. The Golconda ECC Center, PLM administration. The Harmony Hall ECC Center, started by the PLM administration. The La Hopita South ECC Center, again started by the PLM administration. The Lisa Gardens project was started by the PLM administration. The Lower Kubuto ECC Center, again started by the PLM administration. The Maloney ECC Center, and I'm sure the Minister of Planning knows about this one, is a project that was started by the PLM administration, and it was opened in January 2010 before they came into office.
Oh my. Shame.
The March Hill ECC Center is a project that was started by the PLM administration. The Marval ECC Center, a project started by the PLM administration. This was completed in May 2010 before the UNC came into office.
What trouble.
The Overputch Gardens ECC Center.
Right? So basically, Tim Gopi Singh was lying. You can't build a school where you don't start a bill already. If they say completed, because any responsible government coming into office, meeting schools already started to be built, or any project starting to be built, they will continue it. But he said they built, and you just heard the former Minister of Education, when the UNC came out of office in 2015, rubbishing the lies of Dr. Tim Gopi Singh. And that is what it does do, lie and embellish things. Right, so they heard that for themselves. I just come and bring the facts, you know. Me I come in and just talk just so because it's not me who say it. I don't take ownership for things. Unless I really say something that I know comes from me directly, okay? So when Kamala Prasad Bisasa talking about the PNM, never do nothing for people, African people, and people that vote for them, the East-West Corridor, it is a lie. And all they must call them out anyway. Let's say it, Sarah and Roxanne and all that, when all they see them put it up on Facebook, tell them the blasted lie. Tell them, let them know that you know. Because like, the only way them could get people to follow them is to lie. Let me continue. So this in Tobago, this Boris girl, the one who say we unwashed and uncircumcised, the fresh little dotish girl. I call her she chopped girl because she had to be chopped. Because I want to know where she qualification to reach where she reached. I'm not just only talking about academic qualification, I'm talking about experience in the field. where they have her, what has she done to contribute, what has she done? I'm just asking a question. I'm asking her, was she friendly with Duke? When I say friendly, I mean, did she know him? Was she familiar with Duke? I don't know. I'm asking a question. Remember back then, all of them was riding with Duke, you know. Duke was the man. Darling, the man in the van. So she's saying here, and this was in the Guardian 21 hours ago. Of course, it's not still 21. And this is whom I speak about. A pretty girl, you know, but she weighs dirty ways. And that will start to show through them. So that doesn't even look pretty again. And I said dirty ways based on she telling we unwashed and uncircumcised. Tourism Secretary Tasha Boris has defended the division overseas travel expenses, insisting that she had not failed in efforts to improve the island's airlift despite not securing new airlines. So, right there is where I call this stupidity out. You have not failed in efforts to improve the island's airlift, despite the fact you didn't secure any new airlines. So, what did you do for the airlift? If you didn't secure no airlines for the airlift, then what was all the travel abroad to do? You did nothing. That was tell you this. It's a sort of like when they're in contact with Duke, like they just get dumb and more stupid. Especially if it's women, they just walk away totish. Because if you have been traveling all over the place, using up taxpayers' money to build the airlift and you never get a new airline, then you waste the blasted money and you fail. Let me continue. At the THA plenary sitting yesterday, she pointed to financial constraints and lack of authority over civil aviation approvals as key challenges. And that is where you're talking about a BS again, child. It's so much country, but every Monday morning, only jumping on plane and going. Where you going if you have no money? Well, then here what you're supposed to be innovative. Because from ever since the THA not involved, have no authority over civil aviation, that is nothing new. So why that was such a challenge? Could you not work along with the civil aviation and know what you need to get and not to get? Yeah? I read much of this, because start a song stupid just like them. Since last October, the division has spent more than $928,000 on international travel to trade shows and industry meetings, including the World Travel Market in London, the Caribbean, hotel investment conferences in Barbados, and air service development training in the United States. And yet they run sandals. All they went and was doing what? Caribbean Hotel Investment Conference. Investment means to bring money. And it's what hotels were bringing hotels where you can make money and only run sandals. So that's why we say you was a failure. And they went training in the United States, air supply development training in the United States. The travel expenses were revealed when THA Minority Leader Kelvin Morris asked for a breakdown of trips, expenditure, and positions of those who traveled. He also asked why no new airlines, you see, and I didn't read this. He asked why no new airlines have been secured for Tobago, pointing out that under the previous PNM-led THA administration, airlines such as Sunwing had been brought in. What are the tangible benefits to the people of Tobago as a result of that 1 million? Have we secured a new airline? Have we secured a new route? Have we secured new carriers? Have we seen any expansion in the services? What are the tangible benefits to the people of Tobago? Minority Leader Kelvin Morris asked Taisha Boris, who says she didn't fail. Boris responded that unlike previous administration, the current THA does not benefit from the central government ruling plan, which previously allocated significant funding for airlifts. This Tobago House of Assembly is no longer in a position where it is receiving hundreds of millions of dollars from the central government to pay for airlift. We are receiving an allocation of $42 million which is what TTAL gets every year, she said. TTL is charged with paying for airlifts, marketing, and recurrent expenditures. Based on current expenditure and contracts we currently have with the British Airways and Condor, there is no more money to pay airlifts. So no, I don't consider my tenure a failure. And that is why I say the stupidity continues. Morris pressed further asking whether the THA had directly engaged in any airlines and the outcome of those discussions. Morris explained that while conversations are taking place, the THA does not have the authority to finalize air service agreements, which falls under the Ministry of Works and Transport. Planes won't just drop out the sky and land at the airport. You have to have an air service agreement in place. The airline has no license to fly to the destination, she said. The Tobago House of Assembly has been having conversation, but the Tobago House of Assembly is not in a position where it can sign an air service agreement. That is not within our remit. Morris, not satisfied with that response, said that Tobagonians expect results, not excuses. The people of Tobago are saying we need additional carriers, we need additional airlines coming to Tobago, providing additional routes and creating competition that could rebound to reduce our fares. What we have not seen is an administration spending money. What we have seen is an administration spending money to go to all these different trade shows, but to date, we have not had a single additional airline flying to Tobago, he added. And I'll leave it there because I didn't want to hear she push back because she sounds stupid. So yes, Tasha Boris, in my opinion, you have been a failure. You didn't do nothing for Tobago. Not only you is a failure, Farley, Baines, Sonny, that short, big-head, stupid-looking one. We name Trevor, and the whole group of the failures, a bunch of failures. And if Tobagonians want to take God out of the thought again, or whatever reason, or fall for old talk and mama guy and mama gism, he is a wee boy. When we did one all about what's the truth. If all they want to go again and repeat the same thing again, well, that will be the definition of insanity. Because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. So you can't expect a vote back. Farley and the team, who was PDP, and then they became independent, or they didn't vote for independence, but only allowed them the independence and not the TPP or PKT and anchor that holds the Russia's anchor. If all they want to give them a next chance, trying the same thing over again, thinking only get a different response, I'm glad for it. So let me continue. So there was a gentleman who made a video saying that 100,000 Venezuelans and Chinese were being signed up by the EBC to vote. Another red herring and the behavior, Venezuelans and Chinese, thousands of them, to vote for this election. And the Prime Minister would have addressed that situation. So let me just look at what he would have said. And to whom I speak of Prime Minister Stuart Young. I don't want to see you on a trippiness now. Just a minute, I'm trying to get to that feed. So let me try it again. Right. So let's see, energy sector, development. Let me see, bilateral engagement, just want to see. Development, ABC. Okay, right. So this was at the post-cabinet media briefing. There's some highlights. That was Thursday, the 27th of March, 2025. It says here, elections and the misinformation. There are false claims circulating that the government and the Election and Boundaries Commission, EBC, are registering Venezuelans to vote in the upcoming elections. One Venezuelan Migrant Registration Program, 2019. This initiative, launched on April 17, 2019, was a humanitarian effort to allow Venezuelans to stay temporarily in Trinidad and Tobago. No residency or voting rights. The cabinet identified that registered Venezuelans would not gain residency or any rights that could lead to voting eligibility. Ongoing registration does not change. Any continued registration under this program does not grant Venezuelan migrants the right to vote in national elections. And then Prime Minister went on to speak about independent international observers. The Commonwealth Secretariat will be present to observe the electoral process before and on April 28th. Commonwealth missions and secretariats will provide further details on coordination and deployment. Additional observances and support was required from the Carter House, right? So we are going to have CARICOM observers, international observers, Carter House. So that is a lie. And to me, what type of individual it is will do a live and know that what you're saying is a lie and still do it and then be comfortable with it? What kind of life you're living? Because it means to say that that's not the only thing that you're doing wrong. Because to be able to tell that lie so easily, come out your mouth and say so easily, shows that you are accustomed doing it, or you're accustomed doing other things that may not be ethical and moral. So again, there's no Venezuelan being registered to vote. They came here under the Venezuelan Migrant Registration Program of 2019, and that program does not allow them to have any voting rights or any residency rights. That program had to do with humanitarian efforts, allowing them to stay here temporarily, right? So we put that out of the window. So that is a lie. And that is what UNC do, lie. And to me, anybody who link with them, I'm not saying that the gentleman is, I'm just saying anybody who seems to link with them, that's what they also do. Another thing they're speaking about, Kamala is speaking about, and again, lying to her teeth, just how she spoke about inheritance tax, when there's nothing in this country called no inheritance tax, there's no, that is something in India and them countries. So I think she was having a flashback from when she went to Bihar to look for her family. Yeah, she continued talking that talk. Now she's trying to scare senior citizens who are a large voter base. They come out and they vote. That if you vote back the PNM, that the PNM will take away your senior citizen pension grant if you have savings in the bank. Something has circulated to that effect, and the minister and the agent, they came out and spoke comprehensively on it. That is not a criteria. That has been pulled back. That bill is not there. It has been pulled back. There's an assurance. It has nothing to do with what money you have in the bank. If you save $1 million, whether you sell bottle, whether man gay, woman gay, however you get it, that is your money. You have 10,000 saving in the bank. That is your money. Whatever money as a 65-year-old you have in the bank, that is your money. That is your savings. The government has nothing to do with that. The only criteria will be the money that you make every month. If you're making and having an income every month of over a certain amount of, I think it's either over $7,000 or something like that, well, then you may have a challenge to access at 65, the old age grant. Remember, people, it's a grant, and it's simply the government using the resources and the money of this country, taxpayers' money, to give back to the 65-year-olds who would not have worked in the public service, never worked before, but as a way to help them to transition and that kind of thing, you get a grant. Whereas people who work in the public service or work in spaces where they actually contribute to a pension from their salary, which is something different, they get at 60 old age, you never would before. My only concern does continue to be for the daily rated officers who continue to wait till they're 65 to get an old age pension. I think that is highly unfair. I think that Lambert was there for all these years. He was with UNC, he was in the Senate, everything, and he did nothing. There's a daily rated checker where I work in, and she showed me the document. It was only for him to sign. They got a company from Canada to do up the whole pension plan, everything, everybody names everything, just to sign. It was never signed. Otherwise, all know the elected officers would have been retiring at 60, just like us, and getting a pension. Instead, they just get NIS and to wait till they're 65 to get old age pension or old age grant, as we call it. I find that to be despicable. And even if they were to start a pension plan now for the elected officers, they will still be going home with out a pension because the plan has to have money in it first. So it might take 10 years to build up money. And then after that 10 years, then persons from then on who retire will start to get a pension. So whether they do it now, they do it last month, did they do it last year, as it is, the elected officers are going home at 60 with only getting NIS money. And that will wait till the 65, the indignity at 65 as if they never worked anywhere to apply for a grant. I find that to be horrendous, despicable, and inhumane. That coming out of NUJFW. I hope this new president do things different. And I ain't hearing nothing coming out from him. I ain't hearing nothing about settling, I ain't hearing nothing, everything quiet. So I don't know if it's a secret, but I hope he do much better. Because NUJFW used to work for their members. That was the first union started to build houses for their members. NUJFW. I think it was under Giuseppe and then if I'm mistaken. So let me continue. So the big stern, the big news, two big newses. While everybody running from the UNC, they're running, our next man running from the UNC, I think he was one they put to go up in some constituency. Everybody running from UNC, it had men running in. And who is the man running in? A man named Kennedy Sawari Singh or something. So he was a Catholic priest. They say he's still a priest because he didn't send the document XYZ. But what happened, he was a Roman Catholic priest and he went and married a woman. And you can't marry if he's a priest. So that he just gets suspended. But they're saying he didn't send any papers. So technically he's still a priest. He was with the PNM. He did there. He used to talk about the UNC and the corruption and all that. Papa, today the man on stage with Kamala and endorsing Kamala. So I had to ask myself, you must see it always so. You don't just turn so today for tomorrow. But anyway, the next one we see is a famous one who goes by the name of Inspector or Superintendent Roger Alexander. He used to be a part of that thing with Marlon Hopkinson. 6 o'clock. I can't remember the name. Or they put up the name there for me now. Can't remember the name right now. Something he used to be doing with Marlon Hopkinson, talking about crime and thing now. So this is him. He was take out TikTok, he in the gym and thing. Last time he have some big piece of me. I don't know if it's a kobo he did kill and cook it. I don't know. I've never seen no chicken leg big so. You don't know what that was. And ripping it apart, looking very cavemanish. Again, I don't know. I don't know if that was stolen woman. I don't know if it's a men thing. I don't know. I just don't get it. Anyways. So this was in yesterday Guardian. It says Alexander quits Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, rumored to be UNC Tanapuna candidate. Right, Senior Superintendent Roger Alexander, who was last assigned to the anti-extortion unit, has resigned from the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service and has been tipped as United National Congress prospective candidate for Tanapuna. Social media was abuzz yesterday afternoon after a post began circulating that Alexander had resigned with immediate effect in order to contest the Tanapuna constituency for the UNC. Shortly after the news broke, a senior police officer confirmed Alexander had resigned, with the officer only saying affirmative when asked if there was any truth to his resignation. Up to late yesterday evening, calls and messages to UNC political leader Kamala Prasad system were not answered. Alexander, who hosted the TTP Right Beyond the Tape crime show, was ordered not to appear on the program from February 2024. A month before that directive, he was sent on 2-year vacation leave. That move generated criticism given Trinidad and Tobago crime situation. However, he returned and was stationed at the anti-extortion unit. Alexander had shot into the limelight when he began appearing on Crime Watch with Ian Allen. Alexander did not answer repeated calls yesterday on the matter. When contacted for an update on Alexander, rumored police to politics transition, UNC chairman and member of its selection committee, Dave Tancook said he couldn't confirm. Anyway, so that's enough about that. So it is said that it is rumored that he has resigned from the police service and he is going to contest the Tonopuna seat against Esmond Ford. It is rumored. Papa use, Papa laps, Papa use. So while people running from the UNC, it have men running in. Them are superpower. Them running in. You all remember this? Let me see if I could find it here quickly. Oh Lord. Okay, so let me see if this is it. Excuse me. Now this is something I wanted to show you, boy. Oh gosh. Let me see if I find it. Again, I'll try again. I will try again. I'll see if I remember this. Who I could go to, who I could go to, who I could go to. Let me see if it's here. That is strange. How am I finding that? I'll give me a next minute. Give me another minute. And if I find it, I'll just remind all if I remember. Because they used to work with Like, let me see if I find it in here. No. When you're looking for things, you just can't find it, you know? Right. You see, I find it. All remember this?
Push up my hand, boy. Don't push up my hand, boy. Don't push up my hand. Alexander, where's this? You come on. What do you? Alexander, you cannot do me this, boy. You cannot do me that. You cannot do me that. You put a cuff on my hand. Alexander, you put a cuff on my hand. Push up my hand, boy. Don't push up my hand, boy. Don't push up my hand. Alexander, where's this? You come on. What do you? Alexander, you cannot do me this, boy. You cannot do me that. You cannot do me that. You put a cuff on my hand. Alexander, you put a cuff on my hand. Push up my hand, boy.
Whew, all remember that? Whew, Lordy. Died of my fears, Papa. So, as I said, them running into UNC, everybody run. But I want to tell you something. Do not get caught up with all who running from the UNC. That don't mean to say they're going to vote for PNM. Or don't get carried away, you know. It looks nice. It looks, you know, don't get carried away. Okay. Well, let's go out and vote. And don't say, well, nah, boy. Look at them and dropping all them go vote for. Darling. They never tell all that they're not voting for UNC. They say they don't want to be in UNC. But you think they wouldn't want UNC to win the election? So listen to this.
I'm a little confused, sorry, yourself. And we do have plans and programs. I can't give you details right now, but we do have plans. Look, we do have.
I just want to know what is the projected lead time for something like this to happen.
Wonderful question. But you really think we have the time to give you all those details?
Yeah.
US money is very easy to get in Babylon.
No, we get it one at a time.
The system.
Programs, I can't remember every single one of them just off the top of my head. We had the mosque, you want to remind me of some of these programs under Mr. Carrier's ministry. But there were several, and we'll talk it on another day. We started getting doctors to go to homes to visit the elderly, blah, 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 blah. We have the plans, blah, 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 blah. I'm a little confused, sorry, yourself. And we do have plans and programs. I can't give you details right now, but we do have plans. Look, we do have
I just want to know, what is the projected lead time for something like this to happen?
Wonderful question. But you really think we have the time to give you all those details?
Yeah.
US money is very easy to get in Babylon.
No, we get it one at a time.
The system,
But I can't remember every single one of them just off the top of my head.
Oh good. This was just at this was just at the meeting there. That was just what day it was there. And I understand from Dominic Romaine. Remember I showed her a video where Johnny John watching she time and like she's saying with them and then the same time camera walking, coming in. And I said, oh, Gabriel looking like he was sleeping and he said so. And somebody said mother and like he opening and try to grab on something. I understand, listening to Dominic Romaine, that there was an accident. That the security detail for Kamala and going up to the meeting, speeding was in an accident and well mash up and next man carry car spin all wrong, all kind of thing. And Kamala when the meeting and in said she hoped that the people okay. I think she just mentioned why she was late, she was under the accident. She care about people, I just asked and I just say. So let me continue. So that is Kamala Prasad Bissessa telling people shh, shh. You expect me to remember the top of my head? But she have plans. And I want to ask all you, where she get any money from for she plans? She pulling it out from she behind? Because she can't go negotiate with nobody because she just cost everybody. They don't want Maduro, nobody knows them. Where they going to get the money from? The country have money? Where she going to get money from for all them plans and them she has? Oh, listen to me now. Let me play this one for you. It is a part of the same thing, but it's showing you the difference between Kamala Prasad Bissessa and Prime Minister Stuart Young. So bear with me.
Confusion versus diplomacy. When UNC loses, everybody wins.
And we do have plans and programs. I can't give you details right now, but we do have plans. Look, we do have.
I just want to know, what is the projected lead time for something like this to happen?
Wonderful question. But you really think we have the time to give you all those details?
Yeah.
US money is very easy to get in Babylon.
No, we get it one at a time.
The system,
But I can't remember every single one of them just off the top of my head. We had the mosque, you want to remind me of some of those programs under Mr. Carri's ministry. But there were several, and we'll talk it on another day. We started getting doctors to go to homes to visit the elderly, blah, 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 blah. We have the plans, blah, 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 blah.
It's dawned on me within recent times that we, as normal people, don't really understand what energy means to each and every one of us in our daily lives. So I think that's an important conversation. Trinidad and Tobago's economy, or livelihood, or lifeblood is based on oil and gas. It's the money that we have earned from oil and gas that has paid for our education. It's paid for this building. It's paid for hospitals. It's paid for health care. The largest employer in Trinidad and Tobago is the state. Salaries are paid from the earnings of oil and gas. It's paid for the street lights. People don't understand the amount of electricity we consume in Trinidad and Tobago. Not only is that heavily subsidized, meaning we're not paying the market value for it, it's based on natural gas in Trinidad and Tobago, which is a good thing when it comes to pollution, but it means even that is subsidized, because whereas we could take that gas, sell it to LNG, sell it to ammonia and methanol producers, we have chosen way in the past to use that gas to create electricity. So people don't understand those things. Water is subsidized. The fuel at the pumps are subsidized. That's an important conversation to understand for citizens, to really understand the importance of oil and gas.
We go vote for the love of we country. We go vote to protect the treasury. Vote.
Chalk and cheese, Kamala Bolin, blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Ask Kamala Prasad Bissessa all the things she promising people. Where she get any money from? Nobody knows she. Nobody knows she in the real world. Nobody knows she in the energy sector. They know Prime Minister Stuart Young by name. They know him by name in the boardrooms in Hague and Texas, all that. Anybody know she? Who she could carry? Kevin Ramarine? That dance? Who she could carry? David Lee? Who she could carry? Ravi Ratiram? Barry Pilot? Who she could carry? Khadija Amin? Dave Tanku? That who she could carry with she? Anna Roberts? Nakin could carry with she anyway internationally on we behalf to talk with anyone. But they was slammed in their face, boy. In fact, they tell the secretary, tell them we're not there. Everybody know Prime Minister Stuart Young. And as for the PSA, people who went out and vote religiously for the WASA president. PSA is joining with the UNC in mass meetings. They call it the Big Green Army. They're joining platforms so they could speak on UNC platform when UNC campaigning in election time. The PSA will be on those platforms to talk to or they had opportunity public officers to come out and vote for a team that has the experience and the ethics and professionalism to get the union back up and working, or they choose not to come out and vote, and who come out and vote decided to choose WASA. I want to ask WASA people something. The 10% that, and I understand that Felicia Thomas, when she had to go to deal with any issues for members, however, the Robert is going with she, so she can't help, and I tell her that she's a dance. You're the president of PSA, but you still have the Robertis moving with you. He's a paid consultant, so he was just a president, paid consultant, getting money, we know nothing about. Nobody voted for him. They vote for you now, and he still had to go with you to help. Look. So I want to ask the people who vote for this team, this sacrosanct team here. WASA people are asking all they generally asking all they really believe that Kamala Sessa will give only 10% for the period 2014, 16, 17, 19. I mean, yeah, 14, 16, 17, 19. All they really believe that. Where she going to get the money for it? Where she going to get the money for it? She's going to go into the treasury again and send up the exchequer account in overdraft again by borrowing money from that to pay all, yeah? Will she go to the IMF? Because she certainly ain't getting no gas and oil company to do no business here. In fact, I feel I might pack up the thing and ride out because she's a total dunce. She and all who she have, she's done them not for the oil industry. So I'm asking again, which you gonna get the money from to pay only 10%? Kamala don't keep she promise. Remember she tell all people they will get the money at XYZ and then says a misprint. So as I was saying, oh Lord. So I kind of move from people, right? So Kamala Prasad Bissessa, that is she behavior in the meeting. Blah, 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 shh. You expect me to answer all that? I can't remember that thing off the top of my head, but you go. Look now! Only listen to this one, and this person who did this could not have put it any better. And if only don't understand what this person is saying here, then only will never get it and never understand the importance of keeping the PNM in office with Prime Minister Stuart Young at the head of the cabinet. Listen.
It's one thing to want power, but wanting power, even if it means destroying the kingdom, is a no-no for me. As you all know, we are in an election season, and the opposition party is ruled by Kamala Prasad Bissessa. But here's the thing. She and her supporters seem to me to be willing to destroy the country just to make the government of India look bad so they can get into office. Let's get into this whole dragon deal. I'm sure you all have heard about this whole dragon gas deal with Venezuela, and we are doing business with a dictator, and we bankrolling a dictatorship, and you are seeing comments like these under every post that has to do with the dragon deal. And I don't think many of you understand what that deal is, why it's in place, and the significance it poses to Trinidad and Tobago. So let's get into it. As you all know, Trinidad and Tobago is oil and gas. In recent years, we have more gas than oil. The estimates say that we have between 10 to 20 years of natural gas reserves left. There could be more, but you have to do exploration to find it. It's a large sea, even if it's just between Trinidad and Tobago and our surrounding waters. That being said, this is a map of where our oil and gas fields are located. Now pay attention. A lot of details are going to come at you rapidly after this point. This is oil and gas. The gas is in red, the oil green. This is where most of our money in the economy comes from. When you hear that we have 10 to 20 years of gas remaining, those are the red fields that are currently in operation. These are some of their names right here. Now pay attention, it's going to get very interesting. Liquefied natural gas doesn't behave the same as oil. You can pump oil out of the ground and store it anywhere. It doesn't care. Liquefied natural gas, on the other hand, is called liquefied natural gas, not because it's liquid by default. It's a gas. It's a colorless, odorless gas. You then freeze it and it becomes a liquid. And I know it sounds oxymoronic. How can a solid be a liquid? That's just the chemical properties of natural gas. When frozen, the volume decreases by about 600%, and you can now ship it or transport it, but it has to remain cold, which is why there are two ways to do this: via these specialized ships that keep it at sub-zero or below sub-zero temperatures, or via pipes that also do the exact same thing. Two ways, keep that in mind: via ships or via pipe. Or ships in these specialized docking areas and specialized places to hold the LNG once it reaches there. Pipes, a lot of work, a lot of money have to go into it because it's infrastructure after all. Venezuela has a lot of natural gas, but they do not have the infrastructure to process this natural gas. So you see the problem. They just had billions of dollars sitting in the ground doing nothing. So under the last Prime Minister and the then Minister of Energy, who is still the same current Minister of Energies, they came up with a plan. We need money. They have money in the ground. They can't get the money out of the ground because they don't have the infrastructure. But guess who has the infrastructure? And beyond that, the infrastructure that is reasonably close by. How close by? Okay. Remember this chart I showed earlier on? Notice this divider here? Okay, forget this chart now. Look at it now. The red is our gas fields. You see that orange in the corner there that is next to our red? That is where the dragon field is. Notice this red pipe coming down here from our gas fields. We already have the pipe infrastructure. So you see how the plan coming together, right? We already have the pipe infrastructure. We have the entire Atlantic LNG plant. We have the docking facilities. We have accolades to our name. And we have manpower. So at this point, it's a no-brainer. It's legitimately like, duh. Just tap into the dragon gas field, however you will just do it. Pump the gas down to us. We sell it, we give them some money, we keep some money, our economy stay afloat, and everybody is happy. Well, everybody except the UNC leadership and most of their supporters who do seem to understand the significance of Atlantic energy and the significance of that dragon deal. I'm saying they're wrong, they're rather the country suffer just to get into power. It's not like we went behind the US's back and signed a shitty deal in a back room somewhere. The US signed off on this deal under the last administration. USA was perfectly happy before, And it's not just say it's trying to be on Nicolas Maduro. It's trying to be via Shell and Nicolas Maduro. There is a multinational company in the middle there. Then the USA had an election. New president come. He's reviewing things, and you all in Trinidad here happy, laughing, kya, because the deal might fall apart. Not realizing that we have been running a deficit budget for the better part of the last 15 years, maybe longer. A deficit budget, which means we are spending more than we are bringing in. And we had an energy minister at the time who said, something, we have 10 to 20 years of proven gas reserves. We could find more. But in the meantime, while we exploring to find more, let me get some gas now, so let me make some money in the meantime so the entire country can stay afloat. And here talking up in your shoved mouth, you have all kind of different topics with your supporters to talk about. You want to talk about crime? Talk about crime. You want to talk about the health sector? Talk about the health sector. You come in and talk about something that can impact the entire economy of the entire country just because you're so poor, hungry, and greedy. Unpatriotic human beings. That is you and most of your supporters who are now laughing and talking shit in the comments. All of you are unpatriotic. And those who want to come and take the moral high ground, like, Nicolas Maduro is a dictator and we should be doing business with a dictator. Who have the moral authority to come and talk that shit we talk in public? The kind of shit dealings even America is dealing with different countries. Some of you feel like running a country of any size is the same as running a parlor by the corner. The USA should be the last to come and talk about who is the dictator and who is not. They are not no moral high ground judge. Point is, Trinidad and Tobago first, and then your political aspirations after. If you don't like it, lie down by it and fall asleep.
Right? That was a comprehensive video done, and I think everybody should get it. Keep posting it out to everybody that you know so that they will listen to it and understand. This is not just about liking PNM and liking Dr. Rowley and liking Prime Minister Syotiong and liking Kamala and liking this. This is not about that. This is about the future of our country that Kamala Persad-Bissessar and the UNC want to put in jeopardy. This is about a man, before it was Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, and this same man, now it's this man here, the Prime Minister, Stuart Young, SC, who is fighting to keep us. He is one of the greatest negotiators. You have Kevin Ramnath, is no negotiator. This man has negotiated. I read out his accolades, I read out his academic qualification and experience. He is ahead, he's above them when it comes to negotiating. He has negotiated all these deals for us. You think it's easy to do that? You think it's something you just sit down, it is a lot of work, it's a lot of talking, it's a lot of knowledge, it's a lot of bargaining, it is not easy. And he has been able to do that with Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley and continue to, and because of that, all of them know him by first name. Nobody know Kamala Persad-Bissessar. They even wanted to hire him and to hold. That's how good he is. He's here fighting for us. Because he now tells us the importance of gas and money from the energy sector, that it fuels, put the gas in the pump. It was trying to school for our medical health, the health sector, everything that we enjoy in this country and feel we're entitled to it is coming from the energy sector. And if we don't get the gas and can monetize the gas that we have, where the hell we go get money from? You go to the IMF? Or going to the stabilization fund when that money blasted done, because when you take out it, it's growing back, you have to get money to put back. Where you getting it from to put back? Ask Kamala Persad-Bissessar what you ask, she getting money to come into this country. She go sell doubles, she go sell Polori, because if it was so easy, they would have done the headquarters already, instead of booming here, there and everywhere. Where she don't telling all the where she going to get the money. And all them who go and vote in the PSA election because they go get 10%. Where you getting it from? Where Kamala getting it from? You in here with gas and we think depleting. What little we have on we soil, we done monetizing that already. The fella show you how close Dragon is to us there. We don't have the pipeline laid. It's just to divert or whatever does do whatever. We have all the equipment, we have the machinery, we have the technical staff, everything already in place. Venezuela have all that wealth under the gun, can't do nothing with it because they do not have the machinery, they don't have the equipment, they don't have the skill, nothing. What is so wrong in that? All the fighting on this gas, the Dragon thing, oh God, yes, no, we're dead now. And then it's we go suffer. That all I really want in truth. All I feel when it happens is PNM people alone will catch the backside. Huh? I don't know how people could tell me them vote in UNC, especially under this woman boy, a wicked to all yourself boy. Anybody would tell me them vote in the UNC and the code is yellow and them kind of foolish talk or the wicked to all the generation to come boy. Look at the woman they're talking, blah, 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 blah. You expect me to remember that? Shh, shh. That could lead our country. Let me get some facts here. The PNM government did not remove laptops from schools. The program continues. Since 2020, the PNM government has distributed over 80,000 digital devices to students and teachers across 500 plus schools. And also, the PNM government did not remove, no, that is it. I just read that. There's another one. Sorry about that. Oh, Lord, what do you think? Oh, Jesus. Give me a minute. Right. Minimum, I didn't want to go in all that. Minimum Wage Act. The PNM government increased the minimum wage to $20.50 per hour, putting 11,440 more a year into the hands of hardworking citizens, and the UNC government left the minimum wage at $15 per hour, right? Under the PNM, and I think it raised since that again, or no? Or it's just Roxanne or later, I'm concerned, tell me now, if the minimum wage is at $20.50 now. Because if it is, when the UNC left, The minimum wage was $15 and they had the highest oil prices ever in this country. Like to tell you, all of you who in the union and saying, can I go give all you 10%? When the country had money, the vulnerable one, people who work in minimum wage, was working on $15 per hour. She raised it. She leave a dress so, and she had the highest oil prices ever, over $120-something a barrel. When the PNM come into office, meeting at the depleted treasury, 3 days hard cash. Everywhere they go to get money. UNC, they done max it out, eat it out, yam it out. They had a 14% increase in wages to public officers that the UNC settled and write out. Well, they know that's going to lose the election. I know they could not pay. PNM didn't go to the IMF to get money. They borrow money how they could to pay it off. Everywhere it had money, them spend it out. We come and we get hit with COVID-19. And this government was still able to raise the minimum wage. I think it raised 2 times, if I'm not mistaken. Right? UNC leave it at $15 per hour, but all their public officers say she will give only $10 when she come in, when gas prices much lower now, where the energy sector, the gas is depleted and we have to find new sources to get, where she get any money from. But if all they like to live on dreams, well, that's the place for it to be. So let me talk about Prime Minister Young now. His current news, beside possessor, her time has passed, expiry date has passed, she's trying something. And I don't know how anybody in the right senses could vote for this UNC. So, you know, Minister Young's mother is Muslim, and we are in the period of Ramadan, so you would have visited one of the masjid when they were breaking fast. I don't know much about the thing, but a little pick up. So this is him here.
Alaikum. Is everyone hearing me? I cannot begin to express how I feel at this moment. Having walked into your masjid and heard from so many about my grandmother, my mother, my uncles, my aunts, my grandfather, from persons here who can give personal testimony, to hear from 2 brothers about my mother babysitting the younger one many moons ago, and to hear from some of the ladies that my grandmother Doris used to arrange the tea functions here. And I even saw someone who I said looked like, well, I used to call her Ma. Thank you all for welcoming me here today. I am glad that through God's grace and God's will, the first masjid that I was able to visit during the holy month of Ramadan is right here in Debi. So thank you. God has given us all purpose, and without God, we are nothing. And I have come here today to tell you all that I am simply God's vessel, and I am here to do His will. But with your support and your love, I am hoping that together with you, my Muslim family, we will be able to unite Trinidad and Tobago in a manner that has not happened before. And as I look around and I see so many young people, I'm asking that you join us as we begin to write a new chapter for Trinidad and Tobago. Ignore the evil, ignore the negative, because you all in this gathering, especially during your holy month, know very well what is good and what is sent by God. And it is up to us to do what God wants for us to take our beloved Trinidad and Tobago to where it needs to go. So I sincerely thank you for the opportunity to break fast with you all here this afternoon, but importantly, to be amongst your midst in such a holy period, in such a holy time.
All right.
And for how you have welcomed me because of my ancestry and because of my family. Some of whom are here. My aunt just brought my goddaughter, who I'm very surprised to see here. I didn't even know she was back in the country. I see my cousin nodding his head there in the back. It's good to be amongst family, and it's good to be in God's house. So, thank you for welcoming me, and I look forward to serving all of you and Trinidad and Tobago in the continued role as your Prime Minister, as I will continue to fight for our country and to fight for what is right. Thank you very much. Amen. Walaikum. Is everyone hearing me?
Right. So that was Prime Minister Young there. I want to show you, so you know the big meeting was on Wednesday, that he was asked to come out to Jamaica to meet with U.S. Secretary of State, Mr. Rubio. And it was bilateral talk that everybody had, so it wasn't a group meeting. The thing was CARICOM, all individual leaders who were there spoke to him about their country and what affects their country based on how they see things going in America now. So it was not CARICOM meeting, it was individual prime ministers and heads of government meeting separately and speaking to the US Secretary of State. And this was his meeting with Minister Young, excuse me. And again, that shows you, the familiar vibes in it. You can never see Pitya come up as being greeted like this, even sharing a joke and stuff. Watch it.
Secretary, how are you? Not too bad. Pleased to meet you. Should I say congratulations or condolences? You've been in much longer than I have. 9 weeks, or you did like 3 weeks. No, that's right. No, Secretary, how are you? Not too bad. Pleased to meet you. Should I say congratulations or condolences? You've been in much longer than I have. 9 weeks, or you did like 3 weeks. No, that's right.
Right?
No, Secretary.
So that was our Prime Minister there meeting with the US Secretary of State, Marquio, something M. Rubio. You see the confidence he walk in the room at? He didn't walk in to go to bed long to kiss nobody's foot. And walking in there with a defeated saying, oh God, that is American. Oh God, he walk in there equal, because we are all equal with authority and confidence. Yeah, that is what I saw. Come up and said, oh, 100 son. And the security woman trying to hold she and Parrot must be holding she bag. And I don't know. I'm just saying. I could just visualize how this thing is. I could be totally wrong. But I know, come up and said, and this UNC, this, as all people say, meet with Marco Rubio, the US Secretary of State, to negotiate nothing on our behalf. So that having been done, our Prime Minister would have told us, PM Stuart Young, because he's my member of parliament, so it's so easy for me just to say MP. He would have said that the Dragon deal not dead, right? And this is what he would have said. This was 11 hours ago in the Guardian. Of course, it's not 11 hours now, but it's today. Dragon gas deal not dead. MP says no firm US commitment, but TNT moving full speed ahead. And for now, the Dragon deal is not there. In fact, government is still moving at full speed to fulfill the energy arrangement with Venezuela. This was confirmed by Prime Minister Stuart Young at yesterday's post-cabinet media briefing at Whitehall, Port-au-Spain, a day after he met with United States Secretary of State Marco Rubio for bilateral talks on energy security and other issues in Jamaica on Wednesday. While the initial communique release was the US government concerning the meeting did not include the issue of talks about the cross-border gas deals TNT has in place with Venezuela. Prime Minister Young yesterday said he did broach the topic with Senator Rubio. Kamala would have been frightened, and she whole team would have been frightened. I then took the discussion to the Dragon gas deal, to our relationship with Venezuela, and emphasized the importance of it, not only to Trinidad and Tobago, but I was able to set out how it could also affect the rest of the Caribbean region because of the important role we play in supporting some of our Caribbean brothers and sisters nations throughout the region. You know that Trinidad and Tobago is one of the world leading suppliers of methanol to the world, right? We good like that. This is the benefit of a respectful relationship. That was just side news. This is the benefit of a respectful relationship. That is the benefit of what we have built up over the past few years with the decision makers in the United States. And when my predecessor and myself have spoken to you and told you we speak to persons on both sides of the aisle, we remain engaged with whoever is a government in the United States. However, he said the other half of the gas fields in Trinidad waters, Manatee, would still be in play should Dragon deal be impacted by US policy. Dragon really is a field that is going to be affected by it. We have Manatee. And Manatee is going to flow by 2027. That's taking place. Again, it gives me an opportunity to repeat the achievement that was in allowing us with a unitized field to pursue 2.7 TFC of gas on our side that is proceeding full speed ahead, he said. He pointed out that Shell is continuing to work in relation with the project in Mexico, and work is also being done here on the construction of the platform for the Dragon field at Labre. The Prime Minister said the discussion concerning the deal will continue to be held with the US government. The deal is currently moving forward at the behest of the US government as a result of the OFAC license granted in October 2023. However, Young pointed out that Rubio said the US policy was not meant to harm Trinidad and Tobago. He explained to me that the US policy that they are applying, I understood the US policy basically. We agree that there is a lot of room in there for Trinidad and Tobago to achieve what is needed domestically with the Dragon gas deal, as well as the role that we play throughout the region, that they will give us support on and in the achievement of the policy. I make it very clear that Venezuela is our closest neighbors. We have a relationship with Venezuela that can be a beneficial relationship again for the region and the Western Hemisphere, Young said. But Prime Minister Young admitted he could not say if the 2-year license of the Dragon gas field will be renewed. This is part of what the conversation was about yesterday, as was discussed between Secretary of State Rubio and myself. Our OFAC license is in place until October. Here, Rubio recognized that the landscape is changing. For example, the introduction of tariffs or the suggestion of introduction of tariffs. So the opportunity that I got on behalf of Trinidad and Tobago yesterday to sit down with a person who is in charge of deciding, and there's a lot of discretion in there, Young said. He also pointed to the fact that Chevron had seen its deadline from the US government to conclude its operation with Venezuela state-owned petroleum, the Venezuela's SA, PDVSA, moved from April 3rd to May 27 as a sign that some leeway could be granted in the case of TNT. And it's only a good negotiator will be able to see the opportunities in that, because the United States, President Trump had given Chevron the end, I think, of this month to get out of Venezuela, pack up and get out, and that's an American company. But they have since given them some leeway, so they have until about May month end. So in that space here, you see that there could be negotiations also on behalf of Trinidad and Tobago with our issue. And Prime Minister Stuart Young is the man to negotiate first because he understands the sector. Everybody knows him in the energy sector. He knows what it's about and he knows what to say and how to navigate in that space. Who do you want again to do this first? Who you want again to do this first? I ask them all, who all you want? Kamala Prasad and who running in now? Roger Alexander, Kenneth Sarat Singh, and all who running in now. And watch who running out from the events. But again, do not take those things for granted to mean that translate somehow into them voting for PNM. That doesn't say that at all. It just simply shows that they have no confidence in Kamala Prasad-Bissessar and how the UNC is going. But trust me, when it's time to vote, and that's what we'll be talking about, the Quicksilver in a bottle and shake-up. They're all over the place. When it's time to vote, they come together as they vote. When it's time to vote, they're going to vote UNC. So again, there's some highlights from Prime Minister Young would have kept a press conference to brief us on what happened in Jamaica. So there's some highlights here. It says, Trinidad and Tobago bilateral engagement with the US and Jamaica, and it says that energy and economic matters. TNT is the top global supplier of ammonia, and I forget ammonia, we are ammonia to and methanol. Trinidad and Tobago is a top global supplier of ammonia, a crucial fertilizer component with exports to the US and other countries. The US recognized that its foreign policy is not intended to harm Trinidad energy sector. Commitment to continued engagement. The government will remain actively engaged in discussions with the US to safeguard TNT interests in energy security and trade. While global policies may evolve, Trinidad and Tobago is committed to securing the best outcomes for the nation and the wider region. Energy sector development progress beyond Dragon Gas Deal. We have new gas development projects. BP has just announced final investment decision on the Ginger Gas Development 2027. BP has also reported success in Fran Gilpani's infill drilling, further strengthening TNT gas sector. The government commitment, secure the best revenue possible for TNT Energy Resources, work closely with stakeholders to make these projects a reality. The future of TNT energy sector remains diverse, strong, and well-positioned for continued success. Again, with the energy sector, because it was all about that. Energy sector development progress beyond Dragon Deal continues. The government is actively working on multiple energy projects, ensuring TNT gas sector remains strong and diverse. The government successfully concluded negotiations with BP and Woodside for the Calypso Deepwater project. Execution now lies with the companies and updates will be shared with the public soon. It goes on again, Regional National Security Corporation. TNT plays a critical role in securing the region, acting as the southern marine border of the US. Talks countering transnational organized crime with commitments to closer collaboration and enhanced security operations. Discussions also include Trinidad and Tobago purchase of national security equipment from the US to strengthen regional safety. It continues, Prime Minister recent meeting in the US, that is Prime Minister Young, with US Secretary of State Marco Rubio was productive and reaffirmed the strong relationship between Trinidad and Tobago and the United States. Key giveaway from the meeting included strengthening TNT. TNT was recognized as a key ally to US and a leader in CARICOM. Discussion emphasized the importance of our bilateral ties, particularly as the US remains our largest trading partner. So that's just some tidbits coming out there from the press briefing that the Prime Minister Young had coming back from Jamaica. He went on Wednesday. And I want to ask you all this. Again, I will say this. Crowds do not win elections. I love the crowd, I love the energy, love what you're seeing, everybody loving it, feeling the vibes, everything, but that has to translate into votes April 28th. You have to encourage everybody to come out. If you can't give them everything, play that Kamala Prasad-Bissessar video. I will post it on We Talk D Ting page and you all could download it. If you all can't talk everything to everybody to convince, play that for them and tell them listen. Just 5 minutes out of the time, tell them listen and understand the importance of having Prime Minister Stuart Young in office after April the 20th. Because he's the man to take this really over the line. Kamala Prasad-Bissessar and UNC can't do that, and we depend on the energy sector. The manufacturing sector is picking up. The agricultural sector is right behind coming up too, but it's really the energy sector. If we don't get these gas deals on, it's we who will, not just African people, going to feel it. Indian people, Chinese people, Syrian people, the whole of Trinidad and Tobago. So I'll post it, you all play it, let them see it, let them understand it if only if they go through all this at a long talk, and let them know how important it is that Prime Minister Stuart Young be returned to office on April the 28th with a large mandate of 25 seats, all the ministers are there, right? And also, even if you're living in an area that is a UNC stronghold, still go out and vote because we're looking for the popular voter. Still go out and vote. Your vote will still count at the end of the day. It may not win you all the seat in the UNC stronghold, but it will increase the PLM votes. That will increase the numbers when they count in, that who get the popular vote. Remember, Kamala always like to boast when they get popular vote. That will help the PLM to get the popular votes. Another thing I'm saying again, when they're asking people about if they're voting and why they're not voting, they're only asking the African community. They do not ask the Indian community that. And it's because the Indian community goes out and vote, whether they like Kamala, they don't like Kamala, whoever they know it's just a vote, the UNC. Majority of them. Right? But they don't ever ask them, they ask us, and the few Africans who just say they're not voting, we don't care about voting, people just feel it's all we just think, so no, we don't. And those new people who come in on social media making these videos and all that, think about the future of your children. And Kamala Persad cannot help them. Not even on she best they could. She has no policies in place. She just talks saying, give you this, give you that, give you that, but not saying where she's going to get the money to get it. So again, crowds do not win votes. Tonight, people, it should have started already, I think. Dominic Romaine, his launch of his campaign is tonight at the Larry Gomes car park in Arima. So those in the area who want to give your support, Dominic is here. Dominic is the candidate who is now representing the constituency that Lisa Moran Julian had represented. They changed the name from Davide O'Meara. I just always forget what it is. I think it's Mausika O'Meara. I can't remember. I just always forget. And tomorrow, 2 o'clock, they also meet in there again, the constituents, to have the power walk with the candidate, Dominic Romaine. At 2 o'clock, they're meeting at Larry Gomes Stadium car park. I think tonight also there's meeting, PNM having a meeting at the Mount Lambert Community Center. Yeah, so activities are happening all over. I am trying to see if I can go to the walk on Saturday, really trying, so I'll try and bring it live. And there are other persons, content creators who carry stuff will be there tonight at his at the launch of Dominic's campaign. And well, of course, people would carry the meeting at Mount Lambert Community Center. I think it is tonight also for the PNM. So a lot of stuff happening. The code is red, the code can never be yellow. The code has to be red. Red is energy, red is life. Red means everything. Energy, and we depend on that type of energy. So let me see all who here. And I want to ask you all before I go. On April the 29th, say you were to call Whitehall, that's the Prime Minister's office, or diplomatic center. Whose voice do you want to be answering when you make that call? Kamala Persad or Prime Minister Stuart Young? Just put it up there for me. When you make that call on April the 29th, who do you want to answer that phone when you call Diplomatic Center or, Whitehall? Kamala Persad or Prime Minister Stuart Young? Another question. Who do you want to go out to sell Trinidad and Tobago to the wider world, to bring in investment, to talk to the oil companies, those oil giants and then the oil giants and them in Hague and Texas and those places? Who you want to go into the boardroom to talk to them? Who you want to be meeting with state representatives, state official, government official from all over the world, not only in the Caribbean? Do you want it to be Kamala Persad Bissessa, Rati Ram, Barry Paradat, Varanda Mohit, Khadija Amin, David Lee, David Nakir, Anil Roberts, Laktal Singh, if I pronounce it wrong, my bad. The list goes on and on. Do you want them there to go and represent us. I'm asking this serious thing over AG, our AG, Camille Robinson Regis, Chamfer Kojo Lewis, Ayana Webster Roy, Penelope Beckles, Marvin Gonzalez, Keith Scotland MPs, so just calling them all protocol observed, Faris Alwari, Carmen Burt, MP Stuart Young, PM Stuart Young, Prime Minister Stuart Young, MP Brian Manning. The list goes on and on. Could you match up the UNC now with that slate of people I call and others? And if you're truthful to yourself, then you will know what to do August the 28th. April the 28th. And you will sit down home and say, I on the fence and not voting, the both parties are the same. They are not the same. And anybody who's saying they are the same is who don't want to take responsibility for anything. And all who are running into the UNC, I'm saying birds of a feather flock together. That's the only thing I can say. But all who are bringing in the UNC and running into the UNC can't make the UNC win this April 28th election, general election. I am predicting People's National Movement is going to win 25 seats. Prime Minister Stuart Young will be returned as Prime Minister and the members of Parliament. Because to do anything else is to, all the things come up beside business and they just tell us we go eat grass and we go suffer and all that is really the prediction they're making for themselves if they were to come into office. If the UNC was to come into office in this country, come April the 29th, we go suffer like dogs. We go eat grass. We children ain't go get nothing. We go lost we work. We go lost we house. We go lost all opportunities. And the poor Indians, the same thing happened to them too, because the pundits say, Kamala in office don't help no poor Indian. She don't get no Indian people nothing. And we heard Roger say she does get friends and family. So them go continue to get it and fatten the pocket and the poor Indian woman and she children down in Debe, in Pinal, in Bacatel, in Guayari, in Cedros, in Chatham, in Gonacolda, and all them places and them down over the Carney Bridge, or they go suffer if a Kamala Persad getting into office April the 29th, or they go suffer because she don't help no poor Indian people. But we know one thing for sure, the People's National Movement has always been the only national party, and no matter what all they do and say, the PNM does still give all their hearing and give all the flooding. When all they bill on the bank and thing, all they get money. You see Shiraz Khan, the shipper man, the sheep and goat man is saying nothing. All they find he nothing, no protest, nothing. He's always be the man in green. Shiraz, something, the sheep and goat man. Things nice because farmers get money. They get money, they get money, they get money. He is saying a word. Who does get them the money? People's National Movement. So people, April the 20th, I could just talk, Dominic could talk, Sean Phyllis could talk, Google could talk, this one could talk, that one could talk, all kind of talk, all who does calling and ready to support, all who does be there backing me up on social media, putting the facts, say, all with that whole network, we could do all them things. If all they don't go out and vote April the 20th, it will come to notes and all they have all this self-to-blame, because I am sure, because my pumpkins is Down syndrome. But my pumpkins could read and write. My pumpkins voted every election. And he voted good as ever. Once they asked me if I want to go in with him, and I said, not really, no, he could handle himself. But I said, okay. And I didn't go in the booth with him. I stand up right at the side. And I just peep and I watch him so. And he opened the paper good as ever. Me ain't saying a word. He take up the thing. He think it, he rest it right there by the valleys. He push it down. He rested back so, and just when I tell him to fold the paper, he folded so, and he come out with it, and he go, I'm done. And I tell him, shh. And I tell him, dip your finger and rest anything. And me and he come out when he walking out, we give one another high five, and I tell him, don't say nothing. And when we walk far from the place and thing, I say, who you vote for him? Stuart Young. You PNM. I say, right. I said, don't say nothing. And me and he speed and come home. So if he could go out and vote. Nobody had to push you to vote. He liked his theater and he loved the PNM. Nobody had to push you to vote. He's downstream and he could go and vote. What's wrong with all you? Because the Indian community bringing up Bauchi, Nana, and Mama, whether they're in wheelchair, they want for the sick, whatever, make sure they're getting them to the poll to vote. Where's all the excuse? Let me see all who here. So Deborah, Bernadette, or Bernadine, Dandy, Heather, Hyacinth, Sheldon, Yasid, Angela, Roxanne, Diane, Jenny, Alistair, Hema, Margaret, Ricky, Merle, Melka, Brian, Christopher. Merle, was it your birthday? If it was, I wish you a happy belated birthday and all job blessing. Love to you, darling. Glennis, Kenneth, Philomene, Hazel, Anton, Lorna, Donna, Gilbert, Ambrose, Alice Orell. Look, you see, all the one on the makeup, or I don't believe that's your name. I feel your makeup something is stickless. So this is Alice Orell or Israel. In whatever, Milks, Wilkes, thank you. Hadara, Anton, Charles, my whole family from Pune. And I'm sure the last name is Emmeline. No, it's Robert Lewis today. People, thank you all for always staying truly locked into We Talk D Ting. I talk plenty, but remember, people, the importance of this might be the most important election coming out of independence that we vote for in our life. This has taken us to a new society. And if they make the mistake, Kamala Prasad Sessa will drag this country down to nothing, or they know that, or they know it. The government, the PNM has always been the party when people do the foolishness and the country dragging does run to vote for PNM to bring it back in order. So why will they want to give it over, to drag it to nothing, especially in these uncertain times? To give it to Kamala Prasad Sessa? Or they have to be jokers. So people, I love you all. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe. Go out and support Dominic tonight. Tomorrow, Gospel, there's a meeting tonight also in Mount Lambert. I think it is. Support your candidates in your area and they walk around. Even if it's once, go get them that support, get them that vibe, get them that energy. And remember, crowd don't win votes. People going to vote in the polls win votes. Faizabad, come out. Turn up, Pune, all the marginal seat, all them come out. Even if you're in a seat where you think it's a PNM safe seat, still come and add more votes. If you member parliament, you say get 9,000 votes, this time you get 12,000 votes. Come out in the numbers. Let us be historic. Let us be the first time in history we have a high voter turnout. Let us be historic people. And in the constituency, where's a UNC constituency, you know they will win. Come out, still don't ball, but not to go and vote because UNC can win anyway. No, come out and vote. Your vote will be counted. It will be a part of the popular vote. You'll feel good to know because you went out and voted in the UNC area, and that bring up the PNM vote and make them have the popular vote this year, this election year. So come out. People, be safe this weekend. Love you all. Yes, and meeting is in Mount Lambert tonight. Love you all. See you all on Monday, Gospel. When I come with something fresh, something new. We know that is the Shorter Baptist holiday, so I will do something short to get them the greetings. And Tuesday, I think, is also Ramadan because 2 holidays for the first time fall on the same day, Sunday. So they get Monday and Tuesday, respectively, to the Baptist community, spiritual Baptist, and I think Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken, is Eid. So people, long weekend, be safe out here, do the right thing. Pray to your God. Have good intentions. I love all you. Go on. See you all you Monday, God's Day. Bye.
Not a damn seat for